Today I want to talk about Russell Westbrook being traded to the place we thought was impossible that he'd be traded to, and what that means for the Thunder. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today I want to talk about Russell Westbrook being traded to the Houston Rockets in what is yet another blockbuster trade for Oklahoma City in less than a week's time. Look, to recap, Paul George was traded to the Clippers because he made a request. Trade demand is I got a problem with the term trade demand because you can demand a trade, but they don't have to give you a trade. It's just bad optics if they don't want to give a superstar player a trade because they'll pout about it and, maybe not play his best basketball. And that's not what you want. And Oklahoma City as a franchise is stuck to this mantra. We will treat all of our stars with great gratitude and great respect, whether or not they seem to deserve it, which I'll get into that in a minute. So after that fell apart, you got all those picks back, plus Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It felt like you were going to hit the reset button if you were Sam Presti, and that's what he did. He's taken this opportunity to rebuild, and nobody seems to blame him except me, who wants to see a competitive basketball team. Now, he traded Jerami Grant away from Denver for a first-round pick, and then Russell Westbrook and that just gigantic albatross of a contract cannot stay. I mean, that dude is owed $171 million over the next 4 years, and he's 30. It's not a good look for a team that's in the middle of rebuilding. And Russ Westbrook said, hey, look, if you want to trade me, there's a couple spots that I would like to go to. One of them apparently was Houston. Another was Miami. Miami was getting a lot of heat, pun intended, because it felt like you were going to be able to get Tyler Hero back along with maybe Bam Adebayo, and you didn't have to take as much money. But because Miami was sitting under the hard cap because they made the sign and trade for Jimmy Butler, that was going to be much more difficult to pull off without a third team involved. In the meantime, Daryl Morey did what he does, which is say, give me all the superstars that you can give me. And he already had Chris Paul, who was reportedly disgruntled. Then he wasn't disgruntled. Then James Harden and Chris Paul made up on Father's Day for what we thought was going to be a run at a title. And now we've seen that Scared Money decided he wanted to trade again with Daryl Morey. Last time that didn't go so well for him. For Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. This time, he sent Russell Westbrook. He gets back Chris Paul at age 34, 3 years left on his contract with $124 million on it. Man, and you get the 2 first-round picks and the pick swaps. Now, the pick swaps are basically playing with fire because when you do that, you're saying, we expect to be better than the team that we did the pick swaps with, because the idea is if you're better than them, you'll trade up to their position. So if for whatever reason the Houston Rockets were a top 8 team, when we're talking about the lottery, they had the 8th overall pick, and let's say the Thunder had the 15th overall pick, they can just swap the pick because they would have been a better basketball team. That doesn't always work out well if you're in this situation. So pick swaps are basically add-ons. They're not really the thing to look at here. The first round picks are, and Sam Presti's got 8 of them through to 2026. And that's important for folks that really want to continue to look at what draft picks could turn out to be. This is also the anniversary of the day that we all saw Sean Livingston, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, and James Harden sitting at the scores table, getting ready to check in for a summer league basketball game for the Thunder. My goodness. That one hurts. Yeah, when that one came across my desk, that one hurt. And I also think it's going to hurt for Mike D'Antoni because his offense is built around sharpshooting and the ability to shoot the basketball from deep. Russell Westbrook can't do that, or at least he couldn't do that the last couple of years at Oklahoma City. His free throw shooting percentage has gone down. Now, he doesn't really like to play with a true center, that being D'Antoni. So maybe you have more opportunities for Russell Westbrook to attack the basket and maybe draw defenders in, and then you're kicking out to James Harden. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how this all fits out, because now we're into the dynamic duo era of the NBA. Like Green Hornet and Cato, you got KD and Kyrie. Like Blank Man and the other guy, you got LeBron James and AD. Like Goten and Trunks, you got Jimmy Butler and his ego. Like Cloak and Dagger, you got Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum. And now in Houston, you got Russ Westbrook and James Harden, who are like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. It's just going to be a lot of fun across the NBA because on paper, you have parity. And I understand people want to talk about parity, even as like 5 teams have won the NBA title in the last 10 years. But that's neither here nor there during July. Everybody is cool in July. Everybody's good in July. Only a few teams get to count themselves out of it in July. Now, for the Thunder, you have this core that looks like it could be, maybe, possibly, Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Terrence Ferguson, Hamidou Diallo, Steven Adams, and Andre Roberson if he comes back healthy. Now, we already have reports as of the making of this video that Chris Paul is going to be on his way out. If not now, then by the All-Star break. And if for whatever reason the OKC Thunder decide to pull that rabbit out of that hat and they're sitting pretty in first place in the West, February, that's going to make that really difficult to do. But also, you could see paying Chris Paul his money if that team is going to make a run at a title. But if your game plan is to tank, is to go into the lottery, is to try to get into that 1 through 14 spot, then yeah, Chris Paul is going to mess that up because Chris Paul, unlike Russell Westbrook, still has a shot, even at 34 years old. And that's the thing. He is past his prime, but he's good enough to run a basketball team, and he's good enough to run Oklahoma City's basketball team. But he might not want to be a part of a rebuild that is stretching into 7 years into the future now. And I need to remind folks that, yeah, LeBron James' contract is up around 2024. Bronny James is going to be draft eligible around 2024, 2023. And he has said he wants to play with his kiddo. Now, those of you with the LeBron James hate can stow it because y'all love Russell Westbrook, who is a guy that showed up in Tulsa at Kane's Ballroom the night he was traded to do the opening for his boy Juice. And there was a media advisory that I got, that all of us, local media got, that said, do not ask anybody, including Russell Westbrook, about impending trades or the Oklahoma City Thunder or any basketball-related questions. And then it was basically a read of an edict about how you can't come to Kane's Ballroom and ask the basketball dude about basketball questions. And then he got traded around like 8 o'clock when this thing was supposed to start up. And he didn't say a word about it. Now, I know there's folks that are happy because he took pictures with them, and I'm cool with that. And I know there's some of y'all that want to see the why not jersey retired. But right behind that why not, you need to put why talk, because Russell Westbrook didn't do that. All right. Now, no matter how you want to carry yourself, and no matter how you feel about being an extrovert, introvert, the job of the soul of the Oklahoma City Thunder is to talk. Not just to media. I know how y'all feel about that. But to everybody. And Russ Westbrook never really did that. He never really embraced Oklahoma City. He took the 5-year, $205 million Supermax because that was the smart move, right? And he would do his philanthropic things on the low. Like he was in North Tulsa just weeks ago at the Boys and Girls Club. But isn't as far as just being nice in front of a microphone, in front of a camera? No, I made the next question video. Barry Tremble could tell you all about that. Other folks that tried to cover Russell Westbrook in his 11-year tenure at Oklahoma City could tell you about that. But you still loved him. And I understand why you still loved him. You loved him because he was you. My buddy Robert wears a Russell Westbrook jersey to work out in. Not because he's like a fanboy in that way, although he is a Russell Westbrook fanboy and I give him crap about it. But because that dude exudes the energy that I have, that he has. He's aggressive. He's attacking the day. He's attacking the basket. He is end-to-end explosion. He is unafraid of taking the last shot, and he will invite your criticism. He won't respond to it, but he's going to take it, and he's going to use it to will it into a Kamehameha at the rim. That's the kind of guy he is. And in Oklahoma City, where we are chippy, where we do have that chip on our shoulder, where we are called a flyover state, where people want to tell us continually, why do they even have an NBA franchise? Nobody wants to play there. Nobody wanted to come through there. Their superstars have left, even as their general manager has tried to make it the most friendly superstar environment in the world. I'm not a Russ fan, but I understand him, and I certainly enjoy watching him play basketball, and I will continue to do so. But I just wanted him to get to the place where being a public figure in this state meant more to him than keeping himself to himself. I wanted that to happen. Even so, he exudes the tattoo on my forearm. Says Invictus. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my incomparable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds, and shall find, me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Russ Westbrook, whether I like it or not, was our captain. He's Oklahoma City's soul. That is worth applauding him for. Deuces.